G'day guys, and welcome to the Centre Bounds for this, my round 8 team review of how my team did this week. Stay tuned. Yep. We managed to crack 2,000 points this week. Oh boy. Tough. It's tough. It's been a tough season, all right? It's been a tough season, but rain, hail, or shine, we keep fronting up. I had to remember what the saying was. 2021, we've dropped even more from where we were before. And mate, we need some luck to come our way. We need some luck. For once, I had a ruck line that outscored a lot of others who had Max Gorn and Sweet. Finally, the 1 week where I finally got a little bit of a win in the ruck line, we get killed in other lines. No mother trucking, no mother flipping. Luke Ryan. Sorry it's break even. We're like, we can wait on him. No, we freaking can't. 197. He has 54 plus 93. I'm just not in the frame of mind to try and. So I'll put it here. So 54 plus 93 plus 73 from my 3 premiums. Outscored him by a whopping 23 points. 3 dudes outscored him by 23 points. Yeah. Meanwhile, Tom Green here, 5. Yeah. With Wilson on the bench, 126. Yep. Glorious. Absolutely flawless. This week has been wonderful. Dacos, everyone owns him. Started off great. Shazel, I sort of spoke about him last week before. If he has that role change playing in the midfield a lot more, it's going to be dangerous to hold because he's obviously not in that glorious, juicy role. Now McCurch's got that role. Houston, 93. Geez, he gets burnt so much by his stupid teammates. But I can understand his teammates for being stupid when they're coached by Ken Hinckley, who's one of the most stupid coaches in the league, risking the skipper like that, and then coming out after the game admitting that it was a mistake after all week saying it's not a risk. There's no risk. Like, get out of here. Whitfield tagged to oblivion by James Jordan, plus the conditions. Matt Roberts, gee, he salvaged this score. It was not looking good at halftime. Graham, decent. Buku Kamis, I thought he'd do better than that against the Hawks. To be honest, I thought the whole Western Bulldogs team would do better against the Hawks, but no. Draper never wrong. No. Draper was so stupid. He's right, obviously, in what he has to say, but you just don't say it. It's not your place to say, you dumbass. But yeah, the Dogs, far out. Sarong, 137. Mate, I was up. Zach Merritt. I mean, you just know how scuffed the scoring is in this game. Honestly. Luke Ryan scores 197, chipping the ball side to side. In completely uncontested, just chipping the ball side to side in defense, no worries. Zach Merritt has like 30 disposals and 3 goals to will us over the line, and he gets a 121. Like, you want to reward impact. This man is pure impact. Zach Merritt. He is captain inspirational. And I'm not just saying that simply because I'm an Essendon supporter, as you can tell. But, like, you give me a midfielder who's getting 30-odd disposals, or 29 disposals at the end of the day, and 3 goals won. That's one of the greatest That is one of the best midfield games you could possibly have. Like 30 disposals and 3 goals. Are you kidding me? For a 121. And it's just scuffed. And when someone gets a 120, you take it. You take a 120. Even though I knew either Bont or Sarong were going to do better. I just knew they were going to do better. But you just got to simply stick to the process. You got to play it right. And you just don't turn down a 121. Particularly when people had a VC on Sheasel into a captaincy of Gorn who went 111. Nothing is guaranteed. Not even Big Maxi himself is guaranteed a 120. So when you're presented with a 121, you take it. Even though in my heart of hearts, I freaking knew these guys are popping off. And pop off they did. So not only Whitfield do shit, Sheasel do shit, Rao, oh bro, what happened? Got taken to the cleaners. Cleaners! He got taken to the cleaners. Him and Took? Bro, the whole Gold Coast side, it was embarrassing. I can't believe I sat and watched that game on KO. It just was such a depressing way to end the round. So depressing. Well done to the Lions. Well done. Their bench was completely scuffed from the second quarter. But these guys, just, embarrassing. Well done. The Brisbane Lions capitalised and they played the way they're supposed to play. Dunkley and Neal, outstanding. But gee, the Gold Coast boys, they looked like boys. Boys against men. And they really let me down this week. Both of them. Very, very disappointing. I anticipate a very strong bounce back this week in Darwin against North. Both these boys better freaking bounce back. And Kalahisi better not give away so many goddamn free kicks as well. He lost like 30 points just on free kicks alone. And one of the marks, intercept mark, would have been paid. Was touched off the boot. And that went for a rush behind. So it was just Tom Green. Look, from an Essendon standpoint, I wouldn't mind him not playing this week because it gives us a chance to win. But from a Supercoach perspective, that is tragic. Absolutely tragic. And I'm very sorry to all the people who I've said in the streams and in comments to trade him in this week. I'm really sorry, guys. Just, you can't predict it. You just can't. He had a break even of like 91. He was under 600k. I thought he was juicy price, and the rain came right after he went down. The rain came, and we would have had tackles and contested possessions, and it just, you just can't predict this shit, honestly. So much luck in this game, so much luck. I obviously started him, and I've obviously lost on my investment. But yeah, it's tough. Wilson, you star. He's just gone from strength to strength, this kid. Unreal. Garcia, 56, very decent. Continue chugging away. Rogers, man, he never got a sniff. He just never got a sniff at this ball, of getting the ball. And when he did, he was so anxious, so excited to be near the ball that he fumbled it time and time again. I'm worried. He looked so dynamic last week. He was higher up the ground. And I know he beat up on West Coast. But looking at his stuff, it wasn't like West Coast simply laid over and let him do what he needed to do, what he wanted to do. His work rate, he always had an opponent right on his ass every time. It was a really impressive showing. And the kid's a jet. But, man, they were embarrassed. Embarrassed. And, of course, in a week where they got embarrassed, I own 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them. And there is the risk that you hold when it comes to having so many players from the one team. If they're getting smashed. And Sammy Flanders. I was about to say, all these guys are in one hand. And on the other side is Sam Flanders. Sam Flanders I commend you. I tip my hat off to you. You were the lone wolf, the lone hand, clapping by himself, but he had no one to support him. He was, great game. Absolutely great game, Sam Flanders. You never left my side all preseason. I knew you were a gun. It doesn't matter where you were playing on the day. You were everywhere. I'm very proud of him. So proud of him in a smashing. English 135. Well done. This is what I was wanting from you. This is what I paid up for. This is what I had you. Why I started you, my boy. Keep doing what you're doing. It looked like it was looking bad with Meek dominating. But as the game went on, English, they just had no answer for him. Around the ground, pushing forward, hitting the scoreboard. English, you were a freak. As was Bond. I was surprised that Bond was as high as he was. He wasn't the prolific self that he was early in the piece. It was weird. He was just scoring, even though he wasn't killing it. And it looked like the Hawks were well and truly on top. But Bond just kept scoring. I don't know what it is. Butters kept scoring, doing very well. Very happy with him. Bounced back. Obviously, had a down game the week before. But he's very lucky to have this score, I feel. I don't know. He's just not that dominant player that he was before. He's a bit kamikaze, and he'll have the ball and he'll do that little shake thing, the shimmy. But he'll just sky the ball up in the air so much. Like it's good. He's scoring all right, but in terms of his actual form on the field, I just don't think he's quite there. I think it's a bit of a slump, which is still great that he's still able to score 124 despite not performing the best. Heaney, what a ledge. Now, I know I actually gave Sweet an ultimatum. I gave Sweet an ultimatum, and I said, if you don't score 90, then I'm trading in Max Gawn. But if he scored 90 and above, then I'd take Tuke Miller. But he didn't score 90 and above, and I still traded in Tuke Miller. Now, the reason why I did that in the end is because Biggie was dropped. Sexton's not playing. Livingston obviously not playing. Hall not playing. I was worried for my cash generation. And I thought, this is not good. And I sort of, I'm like, I probably need more money on hand because of because now I've got one less player making me money. So I wanted to have more money on hand. And also Sweet was up against a very tough opposition in Riley O'Brien, who wins 50% of hitouts, which is actually higher than you might think compared to other ruckmen around the league. Plus, they lost. It was a convincing win for Adelaide in the end. He had some pretty bad disposal efficiency, was stuck on the bench for quite some time. And I thought all of these factors obviously means that he is capable of scoring a lot more in the weeks to come. And it would really suck having those really good scores be on the bench and not on the field. And I was sort of hoping that Max Gawn would have another poor game like he historically does against Geelong. But of course, he sinks a goal from 60 meters out to bail himself, and it was so frustrating. So frustrating. It was all going according to plan, but in the end, Max Gawn cannot be denied. So that's what I've ended up doing. I ended up keeping the money because I needed the money in order to continue my upgrades given the shaky cash that I've got going on. Heaney 109, the guy's a jet. That was a beautiful goal to ice the game at the end. Well done. He's obviously top 6. Harley Reid came back into the game. Double fend off, if you don't mind. Very impressive. First game back in, we were without a doubt the better team on the night, and really should have won by a lot more if only we kicked straight, took advantage of our opportunities. Well done to the Eagles for keeping it close. Obviously capitalized on a lot of free kicks, but I anticipate another stronger game from him next week. Who do they play? West Coast. No, Elliot Yeo. I was up against Collingwood at Marvel. I reckon he can have a good one. Tom Powell, I held on to him, 72. Obviously, was hearing that he's going to play a lot more midfield, and he did. Yeah, he's just not a great scorer, is he? He's just not a great scorer. Uh, I'm thinking of holding him this week simply because they're playing in Darwin and it's going to be slippery. A lot of repeat stoppages, and I think he's a big body player that could end up getting a lot of tackles because we do know that he likes tackling. So this could be a good tackling game, and I want to get his points. And hopefully he gives us a really good score, and then that can hopefully reset that cash chain going. Darcy with a 49. Yeah, look, he wasn't looking great, was he? He had a couple of moments. He just continues to lead up. Maybe he's, he seems to be getting to the close to the to maxing out. But I'm definitely going to hold him. He's got Richmond this week. Sexton obviously didn't play. Cadman, he was one that I was a bit worried about holding, considering the torrential rain plus the fact that he's playing up against tough opposition. And up until the rain came, he was doing sensational. He was up on 60 points halfway through the second quarter. The rain came and he disappeared. So, but thankfully, he managed to score his points before the rain came. And he ended up on a 65, which is still very good. His break even is still lower than that. His 49 break even. Plus, he's got the Bombers this week. And I reckon, mate, if you saw what happened the last time we played against the Giants, and if you look at the way we played against the Eagles, and the fact that the Giants are coming off a disappointing loss, I'm worried that the Giants are going to come out and really play hard to bounce back strong. And Cadman lines up on the Verdi. That could be dangerous. So, yeah, I think I'm going to hold Cadman for another week. And so what I'm going to do, coming now into round 9, I want to get... It's so annoying. I was really hoping that this guy just wouldn't continue to pop off. And if my trades would have been so much easier. But this son of a shawarma, just 197. He goes up in price. So annoying that he goes up in price to 644. And look, was he going to be a straight swap? Probably not, but it would have been nice if it could have been. And at this stage, I could trade Buku, but Buku is up against Richmond, and we saw how the scoring went crazy, absolutely crazy. Now Bailey Dale might go bananas, unless the Dogs might think, hey, we saw that tactic work really well, and trying to switch the play up a lot more. Buku Kamis could get a lot more cheap points this way, and everyone else I think is still capable of making a bit more money. I don't even know if this guy's ever going to play again. Honestly, I don't even know if Sexton's going to play. If he's not playing, then I might just trade him out and get in the kid from the Giants, who looks absolutely sensational. He's playing he's having a great season thus far. Let me just actually move my camera, make it a little bit smaller. Darcy Jones, I think, get in my side. He's had 2 games where he's scored. Go to season stats. He's had 2 games now where it loads 75 and a 70, which is really impressive. And that's 70, mate. From the halfway through the second quarter on, it was a smashing. And for him to still score 70 is really impressive. Really like this kid. I think he's one that you really should get into your teams. So Darcy Jones, I think, becomes a must in terms of the rookies this week. And I'd love to have Darcy Wilson here, but unfortunately I can't do that. But if Sexton is named, then I might end up just trading Buku and having more money on hand for next week. But I suppose it depends if Sexton's going to be named. Because if Sexton doesn't get named after that embarrassing showing by the Suns this week, then I can't see when he's going to get named. Jay Atkins was disgusting. Atkins is such a bad player. Oh my God. There's so many players that really reduce their colors for the Suns. And if Sexton doesn't get named this week, then he never will, basically. So thinking of trading him out now, tentatively speaking. If he keeps his spot, then obviously we keep him. And I might trade out Buku or I might trade out Cadman, one of those guys. But someone is definitely going to go to get Darcy Jones. And in doing so, if we complete the trades, that's what it looks like. We've now got another premium on the field. Only one premium defender left to get, and it might just be Sinclair with that wonderful Marvel run to end the season. And we know he loves to play there. And he had a great game against North Melbourne. So he's been building slowly. We sort of spoke about it last week, and I flagged him as possibly one that we get in to finish our backlines. And so I'm looking at Sinclair as maybe that last one, maybe a Stewart potentially, maybe even a Nick Martin if he continues to keep doing Nick Martin GOAT things. Love him to bits, Nick Martin. So this is what the team looks like now on field. And I think for my current VC and C options, I might just VC Butters against the Cats. They consider a lot of stoppage midfielder points. So going to go with Zach Butters as my VC on the Friday night. And then my captain, I could go Matt Rowell, who really is going to have an absolute almighty rocket up his ass after that performance on the weekend that just went by. Plus, the conditions are going to be really suitable for him. But I'm just going to go with the Bond. I knew the Bond was going to go crazy. Probably should have backed my gut, despite the fact that Merritt scored a 121. I probably should have backed my gut, but hey, we are process-driven, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to go like this going into next week. We still have one defender left to get in, one midfielder to get in. That midfielder is going to be Petrarca, as I've said now for the last couple of weeks. Tom Green, I think, is going to play. And if he doesn't, well, I've still got Darcy Wilson that can take his spot, which is obviously really good. And yeah, that's what the team looks like going forward. Cadman could be the one on field instead of Darcy Jones, considering that it's going to be played under the roof at Marvel Stadium, which obviously is better for key forwards. Whereas in the wet, slippery conditions, the people at ground level, like Darcy Jones, did really well. So I might end up fielding Cadman over Jones, who could be a really good option there. And that's what the team looks like, guys. Shees was a risk. Shees was a bit of a worry, but I'm confident at some point in time in the season he'll move back behind the ball. He's too good behind the ball not to be used there as well. He's just very creative and a beautiful user. So Sheasel, I think we're stuck holding him for now. Powell, I'm stuck holding him for now unless I trade him out. If I hear otherwise that he might be playing more half forward again, then he's the one that goes. And if so, hey, leaves me with more money in the bank to make upgrades elsewhere. But I'm definitely hoping that he's playing in the slippery Darwin. Hopefully he can get a lot of tackles in that game. And on that note, guys, that is how my round 8 went with this team of mine. Bunch of spuds. But hey, thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked what I had to say here today, or if you just feel sorry for me in general, hit that like button. We'll greatly appreciate it. Hit the subscribe button if you're new, and hit that notification bell to make sure that you don't miss out on any of the videos and live streams that we have going on here on the channel on a regular basis. We are live every Monday night at 7:30 p.m. as well as every Thursday at 5:30 for the drive home. And remember, guys, here at the Centre Bounce, we do the hard work and suffering so you don't have to.